Bree here. Um, about to do the video you've all been waiting for since February. Sorry it's taken so long. I'm honestly not done with the editing for part 2 of this video, and I'm pretty sure we're going to post it on my mom's YouTube. I will keep you all posted on that. But you'll at least get to hear about my experience with meeting James Marsters. I'm sorry it's taken so long, and yeah, it's not going to seem as exciting now when I tell you the story, since that did happen a few months ago. You know, it's not going to be as surreal as it would have been had I told you then, but I've had so much going on, as you all know, and then all this other stuff started happening with the world. And I'm always running out of storage space on my phone. Like, I either need to get a new phone, or buy some more storage on my phone, or start using my actual camera, but I have no idea, like, how to edit stuff like that yet. So, hopefully in the future that will get better. Anyway, also on what I'm gonna do with Mom for part 2, she and I are going to talk about the convention, the big Lick Comicon convention. She and I are going to discuss that in general together. My video is just strictly going to be about my experience meeting James Marsters and every, like, interaction with him throughout the convention. Excuse me. So, and with me doing that, a couple of the experiences with him actually did involve my mom and stepdad. So, when we do the video on her channel, you will probably hear some of this a second time. So, I'm sorry. Anyway, so I get to the photo ops. Like, I'm going to save the whole logistics of everything for when we do our video, because she really wants to talk about the whole setup of the convention and everything. So, anyway, I get to the photo ops. I finally get in there with him. Of course, like, while we're in the line to get to him and we can see him, he's like probably 6 to 12 feet away in this line. I mean, when you start at the end, you're probably 12 feet away, and then the closer you get, the more you're like, oh my god, he's right there. He's right there. Whoo, you know? Well, when the photo ops finally start, and we all line up to actually go in there and have our picture with him, the nervousness, the anxiety of it gets even more. You're like, oh god, my idol is in there, my childhood crush is in there, they're about to take a picture with me. You know, you just have all this going through your head, you get really excited and anxious. I finally get in there. He originally had his arm out to take a picture with me on this side, but the way I had my makeup done, this was my good side, so I moved over to this side, and I was like, oh god, I probably just, like, made a fool of myself or looked so awkward to him, because I didn't, like, give any indication that I was going to do that. I just did it. But I'm jumping the gun a little bit there. Hang on, I have to readjust. And while I am paused on my story, why don't I address the elephant in the room? Or should I say, address the big bird in the room? My hair's yellow. How you doing? I absolutely love it. And in here, it's more of like a deep, excuse me, deeper mustardy yellow. Out in the sun, it's freaking neon. I'm not kidding at all. It's neon. And then the lighting. Whew. I'm sorry, I have heartburn really bad. The lighting in the salon, it was like a daffodil yellow. So it's very reflective to the light. Anyway, besides the point. Let's regroup here. So I get in there. He is shorter than you would think. He's like probably a few inches taller than me. Not by much. Like, I didn't have to look up at him or anything. We were pretty eye level. He shakes my hand. And he's a person that, like, shakes your hand like this. Which I really enjoy that. I feel like when people shake my hand that way, they're really pleased to see me, you know? He had done that and he smiled. And he had like this, he has such a charming smile, which we know that from seeing him on movies and shows. But in person, I was just like, oh my goodness. My heart melted. But he shook my hand and he was like, it's great to see you. And the way he said it just made me feel like he had, you know, known me his whole life. So I thought that was very friendly of him. I'm sure he was saying that to everybody, but I'm just saying, you know, that makes you feel good. And makes him seem like a very good people person. So then the awkwardness happened of the whole arm out here, oh here. Yeah. And if y'all haven't seen that picture yet, I'll insert it now. Okay. And then after we took that picture, he says, thanks so much. Shook my hand again and smiled real big. And I'm like, oh, you're welcome. And then right after that, I called my mom and I'm like, you know that episode of Buffy where Principal Snyder's like, met the mayor, shook my hand twice. Well, I was just like, met James Marsters. He shook my hand twice. Ugh. And then a little bit later in the convention, we went to a Q&A panel that had James Marsters. This is the point in the video where you're probably going to hear this stuff again when I do my video with Mom. I'm sorry, I keep clearing my throat. I've been talking a lot, so my throat is sore. Like, not just with you all. In general. And I was having to talk over a bunch of people the other day. It's not a fun time. Anyway, so we went to the Q&A that he was doing. And my stepdad asked him a question. And he answered it. So, you know, that was pretty exciting. I mean, that was exciting for me as well, but, you know, it's probably the most exciting for my stepdad, since he's the one that asked it, and James answered his question. Like, so. And during the Q&A, which I plan on uploading that as well, either on mine or Mom's. It'll probably be on Mom's. At some point during the Q&A, he mentioned if anyone had like a Buffy costume on or Buffy tattoos when he was done, to go back to his table, because if they're comfortable with it, he wanted to take a video of all of them and post it on his Facebook. For those of you who don't know, but you should by now if you know me at all, I do have a Buffy tattoo. Yes, it's upside down right now. I don't want to move the camera or anything, but I have a Buffy bee right here. It's like this big. I'm sorry, I keep yelling. Excuse me. So I had in my mind that I was going to go back there and talk to him after the Q&A for him to take a video or whatever he was gonna do of my tattoo. Sorry, I can't get over my hair. So when he was done with the Q&A, my mom and stepdad wanted to get an autograph from him. So I was like, well, I'll just get in line with you all and talk to him while I'm waiting for you all to get your autograph or whatever. Well, we go get in line with them. We go get in the line. Oh my god. I don't know why I can't talk. I guess I'm getting frazzled again just thinking about this. You'll see why when I get to this point. Anyway. My mom and stepdad are like, I want an autograph. And then mom's like, well, I don't know. I got a selfie with Claire Kramer. That's Glorificus from the 5th season of Buffy, for those of you that don't know. So mom's like, I got a selfie with her. I kind of want to keep my whole selfie train going with the Buffy people if it's possible. And I'm like, well, if you want to do that, go for it. And then they were debating about getting both. It was a whole thing. Like, they're very indecisive. Well, they finally decided that they were going to get a selfie and that I would take the picture. So, we get up there to him. He shakes all of our hands and smiled again like he did earlier that day. We talked to him about his British accent, which I don't know if all of my followers know this or not, but James Marsters is not actually British. And he actually mentions in his Q&A that he thought he was doing a very bad job at the British accent. My stepdad tells him once we start talking to him after we get up there, when I started watching Buffy, I thought that you were actually British. And then I was like, yeah, years ago when I started watching Buffy, I thought that too. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, no, he's not. You know, we were telling him, you did a really good British accent. We were impressed with it. So then he thanks us and he starts talking with the British accent that he used. So, you know, that made my heart melt too. And then I showed him my Buffy I showed him my Buffy tattoo. I was like, oh yeah, I also came up here to show you this. It's very tiny, and then I put my wrist out to show him. And he I wish I had another arm here to show. Well, I have some gloves laying here. That's convenient. Okay, this is the Buffy tattoo. This is my arm. This is my hand. He was looking at it like this. Now, I'm not at the right distance here, so just imagine. Oh, wow. That's nice. And, you know, he's holding my hand and rubbing my tattoo. Like, not rubbing it, but he was, like, doing this. Not in a creepy way or anything. But I'm like, you know, woo! And then he asked me if he could put me on Facebook. And of course I'm like, yes, because who's going to be like, no, I don't want you to put me on your Facebook. It's James Marsters. Of course you want on his Facebook. Well, I thought he was just going to be taking pictures of tattoos and costumes and, like, making a slideshow. No. He pulls his camera out. He says, I'm sorry, my heartburn is so bad. He says, okay, I'm going to go like this when I start recording. And then you say, my name is blah, blah, and this is my Buffy tattoo. That way I'm not talking while you're talking, you're not talking while I'm talking. And I didn't know he was going to take a video. So as soon as he was like, I'm going to go like this, and then I'll start the video, I was like, in my mind, oh my God, he's going to video me. James Marsters is videoing me to put me on Facebook. I was freaking out, guys. I'm not joking. My heart was beating so fast. I thought I was going to pass out, but I worked through it, got through it, which I'll leave a link below in the description for his Facebook and his Twitter. That is where this video is. I cannot remember the exact area of the video that I'm in. I want to say the middle towards the end. I'm not positive. Yep. Sorry about that. One of my friends that lives in Maryland called me. It's so frustrating when people call while I'm trying to film. Anyway, I'm not sure. I can't remember where I'm at in the video. I want to say either the middle or the end. Like, I know I'm not at the very end. I don't think so, anyway. But you might have to watch the entire video to find me. I can't leave just a link to the video. It has to specifically be his Facebook. And I mean, I'll try and figure out how to link just the video, but I don't think I can. I will try for you all, though. So, he does that. He did this, and I'm like, I'm Marilyn, and this is my Buffy tattoo. And my face is so red. Like, when I rewatched that video, I was like, damn, you could tell I was freaking the hell out. So, but afterwards, now I can come up to people and be like, hey, I was on James Marsters' Facebook, you know? And then, after that, my stepdad was like, why don't you show him your jacket? Which, I don't know if you've all seen it or not. I think it's in the wash right now, but I have a Buffy jacket that my aunt made for me. So, I took it off and I showed it to him, because I had it around my waist at the time because it was freaking hot in that building. I take it off and I show it to him, and I'm like, my aunt made it, and he was like feeling all of the stitching and everything and the fabric, and he's like, oh wow, that's nice, very original. Which he's right, it was. My aunt made it for me. She even put my nickname on it. I showed him the Buffy stuff on it, and he was like, oh wow, right on. Then I took the selfie of him and my stepdad, which I will post that picture here now. And as we left, he was like, cool jacket. So, that was my experience with James Marsters. I really wish that I would have made the time and space on my phone to have filmed this for you, like, right after it happened. Because it was a lot more, like, exciting at the time. I wish I would have vlogged while I was there too, but I was too excited to even think about that. I have an amazing boyfriend because he paid for that picture with James for me. And I have an amazing mother and stepdad because they provided the transportation to make that happen for me. Like, that was my birthday present, and I love them so much for making that happen for me. Alright. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it was kind of like all over the place and all that, but bye, monkeys. And Then he shook all of our hands again. So I guess technically James Marsters shook my hand 4 times.